Let me ask you a simple question. Is the housing market finally going to crash in 2026? Because if you've spent any time online, you've probably heard that it's right around the corner. Today, I want to slow things down and talk about what's actually happening. No hype, no fear, just the facts. Let's start at the national level. When people talk about a housing crash, they usually mean home prices falling sharply. But when you look at the data, that's not what's happening. Over the past year, home prices in the United States are actually slightly higher, not exploding higher, but not crashing either, and that matters because a market that's crashing doesn't quietly move sideways. Now, here's where things get more interesting. Real estate is local, and yes, there are parts of the country where prices are coming down. You see it mostly in parts of the South and some areas in the West. Places like Florida and certain overheated markets are feeling real pressure. But across most of the country, prices are still holding up. In fact, far more metro areas saw prices rise than fall over the past year. So let me say this clearly. The problem is not a housing crash. The problem is affordability. Homes are expensive, mortgage payments are high, and wages are not keeping up. That's why it feels broken. Not because prices are collapsing, but because everyday people are stuck on the sidelines. Now let's talk about interest rates. Rates have come down from their highs, but they're still hovering around 6%. That helps a little, but not enough to suddenly make homes affordable. And here's the part most people miss. Lower rates don't automatically fix the problem. In many cases, they actually increase demand, and higher demand puts upward pressure on prices. There's another factor we can't ignore: money supply. Over the past couple of decades, the amount of money in the system has grown dramatically, and when more dollars chase the same assets, prices rise, stocks rise, home prices rise, and the cost of living rises. This isn't new, it's just accelerating. So what do the experts expect for 2026? Most forecasts show mortgage rates staying roughly where they are, not crashing, not spiking. And home prices, many expect modest gains. Not a boom, but not a collapse either. That's why first-time buyers are struggling more than ever. The average first-time buyer today is much older than they used to be. That should concern everyone. You might be thinking, why don't we just build more homes? In theory, that sounds simple, but in reality, construction costs are higher, labor is more expensive, and financing is tighter. Builders are under pressure too, so supply isn't catching up fast enough, and that keeps prices elevated. So here's the bottom line. I don't see a housing crash in 2026. What I see is an affordability crisis that continues. If you already own a home, you'll likely keep building equity. If you're trying to buy your first one, the road is still tough, and hoping for a crash to magically fix everything isn't realistic. If this helped put things into perspective, please like the video. It really helps the channel. And if you want clear, no-nonsense breakdowns of housing, the economy, and money, consider subscribing to Market Sense. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.